we're here with Sandy and Kyra of AK-38 Top Gun. Hopefully they're going to tell us a little bit about what they're doing in Homer, Alaska, and what their program up there is. And maybe we'll get into a little bit of technical stuff on you guys are doing a refit on your boat right now, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, we're doing a pretty big project. I'll let Kyra go ahead and kind of give you a rundown on like what we're doing, and then I'll jump in with the technical stuff. Not that I'm very technical, but she's got a better handle on like what we're doing here.
We have a business. My husband wanted to buy a Go Fast boat, and the only way we could really do that is if it's it's going to technically it's supposed to be bringing in money at some point. So we are offering tours of the Upper Bay where we live in beautiful Homer, Alaska, Kachemak Bay. And, but the boat, is 27 years old, and it's had, I think, 5 different owners of various capabilities. And we just aren't comfortable running it without knowing exactly where every hose and line and wire goes. So that's what we're figuring out now.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you guys purchase the boat?
So I've wanted to buy, a boat like this for a long time, since I was like in my mid-teens, and never really could figure out how to go about doing it. Of course, just because they are very expensive, and we got married and started having kids, and so I just put that whole boat idea on the back burner for a really long time. Just up until about a year ago or so, we were hanging out down in Miami with some friends of ours, and right in Haulover Inlet is where they go in and out and stuff. And so we hung out there for a nice long weekend, and got a pretty good exposure to the Miami boat scene. And then we went up to my sister's place in Michigan, and they're big boaters too, and so we were hanging out around there and things. And after we did that, I just kind of decided the time was right to bring up the subject of even thinking about buying, a boat. And so we started talking about it, and we figured out how we could do it financially and things. And then I just started to hunt for a boat, and I limited myself to like 2 hours a day, just looking at classifieds and just everywhere possible to try to, start getting some knowledge about performance boats. Because, we have commercial fished our whole lives, and together we fished. So I know a lot about boats, but, this is just a totally different animal, compared to a 42-foot commercial fishing boat, which, or 100-foot crabbers or things like that, which I'm really familiar with.
Yeah. Some people's husbands look at porn. My husband looks at boats.
It was a couple hours a day.
Boats are worse.
I would make sure that I only talked about it for about maybe 20 minutes a day is all I did, even though hours of stuff I wanted to chat about. And so one thing led to another, and I finally got in touch with Dustin Carter at Carter's Power Boats. And, I was telling him about what we wanted to do, and he started kind of guiding me onto the type of boat that would work for what we wanted to do. So started talking with Dustin. He steered us to this 38 Top Gun. We made an agreement with the owner of the boat, this really super cool guy from New York, actually.
From Long Island.
From Long Island, Todd Farber.
Oh, wow. Nice.
He's a cool guy. He was really, really generous, and when we found the boat, we started talking to him, and there was other people looking at it right away. And we said, well, hey, can we put some money down on it or something? And, he just said, oh no. He said, I'll just take it off the market. This was like in November. And he said, if you guys are going to come down and look at it, that's all I need. That's enough of an incentive, to do it. So anyway, fast forward, we went down in January, walked into the shop, and immediately we're kind of awestruck. Neither one of us had ever been around a boat like this, like in person, out of the water.
Yeah.
Too. They're big boats. And so we decided to get it, and then and it was too close.
First, we agreed on a price, and then we decided to buy it.
Right. Sure.
Yes. Yeah, that's how that all works out.
But so it was too cold to take it out on water or anything, so we had to decide to come back like in April when we could actually get it out on the water. And when we got back, we came back in April, and it was still freezing.
So cold. It was like in the teens.
Yeah, it was bitter cold. You think Oklahoma, it's going to be nice and warm.
Down south. It was warmer in Alaska
Yeah.
than it was when we were it was warmer in Alaska when we were in Oklahoma.
Our first ride,
wow.
Grand Lake, it was raining. It was like 40 degrees, 38 degrees or something. And, as much fun as it was, we were, like, wow, I hope we never
Do that again.
Yeah, I hope we never have to do this again because it was not very much fun. It was fun. But
that was just a sea trial to see, that the boat ran so great. Okay, the motors both work.
And so then we decided, okay, we got a lot of stuff that we wanted Dustin to do to the boat before we got it up there, before we brought it up. The main thing was we had the whole cockpit interior all redone and switched it over from dry exhaust to wet exhaust, which really bothered a couple of the previous owners, because this thing sounded just mean. It sounded, amazing.
Yeah.
It has 525 EFIs in it, dry exhaust and
Just stock 525s, and people were like surprised that it was not souped up or whatever. It was like
everybody thought
Yes.
a lot of mods to it. But so we switched it over to we have CMI headers on it and exhaust, and we did throw mufflers on it too. Some hard.
that was me.
mufflers.
I insisted.
Yes, and it still sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
It's good. But you can have a conversation, running around it.
You can hear your music now.
Yes, that's always a plus.
Yeah. Yes. It's a little bit more practical than what we're working on.
Yeah.
And
We have the gaff rig exhausts, and they have the valves in them, but once you get open, you can't hear a damn thing. So
yeah,
it's a little.
we were
You have to use
contemplating.
headsets or something.
We were contemplating going with something for the tour, which would be kind of cool. But I'm really glad that we went with some exhaust and mufflers.
I'm so happy to hear you say that.
Yes. Well,
Oh, that's
good.
nice. He's happy.
What else we do? We had the outdrives rebuilt, so it's just XR outdrives. And I've been told by a few different people that there's only two V-hole Top Guns with 525 EFIs and the XR outdrives, as the motor, drive package. I could be wrong. But so far, that's what we've ascertained. So that was kind of pretty much it. I knew that there was going to be a whole lot more to do to the boat, but I wanted to really do it myself, just so I was, familiar with it. And
You got it here.
we got it here in late July. So it was going to cost, when we first started looking around for the boat, it was going to cost about $10,000 to get it from Oklahoma.
That's what we budgeted.
To Alaska.
$10,000.
Right, and that was fine. That was fine. To do that. By the time it was all said and done, come like early June or so, and I was really making the plans to finally get it going and stuff. The price had jumped to over $30,000 to get the boat here.
That's
So I just decided might as well.
The
Right.
shipping cost.
Yeah. Oh, gas.
That's a really nice
Wow.
new battery model. Like, I could use
That's
that.
that's just the shipping cost?
Just the shipping.
Wow.
Wow, good thing we got a Don in, right?
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. $30,000.
Yeah.
Well, I had to go from Oklahoma to Seattle and then get on a big ship and get shipped up to Homer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
$6,000.
That's crazy.
To get it.
Oh, so you guys had to float that thing over.
No.
Yeah, so it went by truck and boat.
Yeah. So.
It would have.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It would have gone by truck and boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
At that point, I would have just run it all the way around.
That's what.
Go through the canal.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would cost a lot more than $30,000.
It would have cost you.
That would have been a good story.
Yeah, you're stopping every 4 hours for fuel. Oh, there's another 1,000.
So we decided might as well buy a truck. So I started looking around for a truck down. I figured, sure, something down in the States is going to be way cheaper than Alaska. We found a truck down in Arkansas, brand new truck, had ordered it up and stuff, and was getting ready to get it. And then come to find out that I could get a truck in Anchorage for about $7,000 cheaper than in Arkansas. So that changed everything. It changed the whole complexity of, getting the boat up here.
Right. So instead of the boat going on a boat, the truck went on a boat
Right.
to Seattle.
Yeah. I shipped the truck, bought a truck.
Oh my God.
Shipped it to Seattle, and then drove to Oklahoma and spent about a week, 10 days or so with
10
Dustin, working on the boat in the shop down there. I mean, he and his dad are just an amazing wealth of knowledge about, these boats. I mean, boats and, all boats, I think, but, cigarettes are definitely their passion and, what they do the best. So we spent a week or so there, and then a friend of mine came down with me, and then we decided that we drove it up, and it was pretty painless. I mean, I really made sure that we had all our bases covered with the truck and the boat and tools.
What type of truck did you guys end up just had to haul with?
So I just bought a 2022 Dodge 3/4 ton Ram diesel, and
We're a Dodge.
yeah, always had.
We have lots of Dodge.
Oh, that's good. Good.
And when it was down there, I sent it to a friend of Dustin's over in Arkansas, and had a whole bunch of stuff done.
Oh,
to
yeah.
the
What's
truck.
the name of his company?
Oh, you got me on the spot.
His name is Buck.
Yeah.
And he's really good.
Yeah, really good stuff. We had airbags thrown on the back, and running boards and top cover, and just a whole bunch of stuff to make it ride, coming up. And then I had the trailer all gone through, and all brand new tires, brand new bearings, and tires, and you name it. And we had it. So we had a pretty uneventful trip. Had one little mishap in Wyoming, where the bunks on the trailer started folding sideways, and we had about a 4-hour emergency repair right underneath the Home Depot, lumber awning, and
It sounds pretty familiar.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
we had something very similar happen on our return trip.
that's a great.
Where were you returning from?
So we got our boat from Clayton, New York, which is up on the Great Lakes. It was about an 8-hour drive back, and about halfway down, we blew a tire off in the middle of absolutely nowhere at about 6 p.m. on a Sunday,
Ouch.
and had to find a little tire shop that was basically just some guy who had a garage and said, "Hey, how much cash can we give you?"
Was that Mr. Lindsay?
Yes, that was Mr. Lindsay.
Yeah.
It was an interesting experience.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that, but I heard it was an interesting time to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So your boat didn't tip over. You didn't you didn't go.
No, thankfully.
Okay.
It did leave it. Actually, that tire slung off. Actually, broke apart and left a black streak on the side of the boat, though.
Yeah. It basically spit the tread off and just came up and did like a swirl on the side of the boat. So we had to do a little cosmetic work on that.
Nice. Well, we made sure we had all brand new tires
Yeah.
and 3 extra tires.
Yeah, I had spares stuffed in the boat, and fuel, and you name it. It was
Brand new bearings, everything.
It was good. So we got the boat here in late July, and then just started playing with it. Having it on every time that we could. Steep learning curve, as far as how to operate it smoothly, and to not kind of look like a total
Dork.
just a total dummy.
But we're really, really lucky because there's a guy up here in Alaska who has a lot of experience actually racing these boats, and we know him from our previous sales rep stays, Spy and Liette and other companies that we repped. Beagle Jarvis. I don't know if you recognize that name.
So he's from
Google that.
He's from upstate New York. Is where he's from, and he actually is one of the founders of the X Games. So yeah, Google Beagle Jarvis.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he has an
The
action.
X game, really?
He has an action figure. he's
That cool.
Yeah,
But he's so cool.
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like in that promo video that we've sent you guys and stuff like that. He's the guy with the big loud Hawaiian shirt. He's very large right now, so he's kind of out of his action figure stage.
Gotcha.
Now he's an extra medium action figure.
But he is super cool.
An extra feed.
Husky,
He's-
fluffy.
Good,
Fluffy.
yes, he's a good guy. He and one of his friends came down. They live up about 300 miles north of us, and they came down a couple of times at the end of the summer.
Well, hold on. We had been talking to him because we were concerned about bringing this boat up, and none of the technicians up here knowing how to work on these motors and stuff because they're the only ones here.
Yeah.
And so we heard that Beagle was working up at this shop, and so Sandy contacted him and was like, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. What's your experience?" And he was like, "Oh, dude, I got you covered. Let me, keep me in the loop." And then, yeah, he did. He came down for our first launching, and he came down again, and yeah.
we had a lot of fun. There was
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
bottles of tequila consumed and fireworks going off at 5 a.m. Totally pissing off our neighbors. It was a good time.
That was the second time.
That was the second time. Yeah, we got to know him a little bit. Yeah,
I think that's
I mean, we piss off an entire island. So I mean,
there's nowhere on the island
it's
you
great.
can't hear exactly what's going
Yeah.
on.
we're so loud that the local police have to come down to the landing where we pass by. They hear us inside of their headquarters. That's how loud it is.
Yeah.
And they come down and watch us come in.
nice.
It's
So
also
you
how
guys-
small the island is.
I mean, yeah.
It's just a good time though.
Oh no, you guys are on Shelter Island? Is that where you guys live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right on. So originally I'm from right east of Belfort.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gotcha. You must have run Great South Bay a few times, right?
Yes. Yeah. My dad actually was a commercial clam digger, bayman, right for the last few years that we lived on the island. And so, yeah, we were out there all the time. Fire Island. I mean, I pretty much grew up on Fire Island. I
Really?
did Ranger, over there. And so I remember coming out. We came out to Shelter Island a bunch, when Park Service stuff when I was pretty young.
Yeah, way before you guys were born.
Oh yeah, wait, yeah, decades. That's right. Yeah.
So what made you want to move to Alaska?
Oh, I had no choice in the matter. I was 14 years old, and my folks just one day said, "We're moving to Alaska in a month," and that was it.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but it was good. I mean, we met pretty soon after I got here.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah. Throw some questions.
I mean, I know you guys you pulled the motors. I think you said you were just doing fuel lines was your main concern. Is there anything
Yeah.
more and if you want to just dive into that a little bit, tell us a little bit about what your top bulletin points for that are.
You bet. Yeah. So my main concern was the fuel system, on the boat, because just kind of crawling around after we got it. There's a lot of wiring and some hoses and things like that, that are 27 years old, and anything on a boat for 27 years is going to chafe, like crazy.
Or get
if it's
brittle
and everything. And I didn't really know what it was going to entail, to get to the fuel lines. I mean, any other boat that I've ever worked on, fishing boats mainly, fuel lines are all kind of exposed. I mean, not really a big deal to kind of get to them. I started talking to Dustin. It's like, man, I need to I want to really get these fuel lines replaced. I'm kind of worried about them, and he said, that's a huge job. He said, don't we don't do that kind of stuff until it fails, or if you're not smelling gas, don't worry about it. I wasn't really comfortable with that aspect because I didn't want it to fail. Like,
It's not our case.
when we had tours going, best possible scenarios we're just out of time. Worst possible scenarios we all die. Because the fuel lines rupture and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once I decided to get into replacing the fuel lines, I just decided, and I also wanted to do a bunch of wiring, and I figured it was going to be easier since I had to get to pull the cockpit out to get to the fuel lines, and then I just pulled out the entire cockpit, which we had just had, redone, which, was not even, I was very surprised at how easy it came out. I was expecting it to be a lot harder.
No, that's more like Lego pieces almost,
It was
It's
just
upholstery.
Yeah,
It was
just-
already out, reupholstered, and put back in.
That's
so.
good to know.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah, but yeah, super easy. I mean, my buddy and I had
It's
it
like Legos.
in
I love Legos. It's great.
2.5 hours. We had it out completely. So it was, no problem.
Really?
Yeah. I wouldn't even stress over it if you guys need to pull your interior out. I mean, it's just a bunch of screws. And,
I mean, that means if it took you 2.5, it'll take us 5. But
It'll
that's
take
still
us a
good for
day,
us.
but yeah, it's still better than I would
Yeah,
have anticipated.
still good for us.
Yeah.
probably not. I mean, it was the first time I'd ever done anything like that. So.
But they did mention you guys wanted to replace your hatch cover.
We just need to pull it. You said.
Yeah,
Yes.
Well,
it has a little bit of damage.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be doing with that. One of the back hinges cracked off, so
Yeah.
Well, you
we're
said
not
that was
quite sure.
It's either a matter of fiberglass work or replacing the whole thing.
Oh man, probably glasswork. Glass is
What's
easy.
that?
Glasswork is easy. I mean, it's pretty. You can fix a lot with fiberglass. I mean, that's one of the beauties of it.
I mean, you've done it. I mean, I've done
Yeah,
it.
Dan,
I've done it. Yeah.
Yeah, Dan is the
Yeah,
professional.
I've done a
never
lot of
fixed fiberglass.
I've done a lot of glass work.
Oh, you're good.
Fixed the surfboard before. That's about it.
I'm
I've
just
done glass work on a Corvette.
I'm a little concerned with the weight of the hatch and actually getting to the area that needs to be fixed. That's my main concern.
Pulling it off.
It's kind of in an awkward place where to grind anything back, you kind of have to lift the whole hatch up or slide it back, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, we just took
Yeah,
our.
it's a little bit of a derelict operation, but we'll get it.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I mean, I just pulled the hinges off, and I did it. I was doing it by myself. I was here at the boat, so it was kind of. I had this vision of like being underneath the hatch. I had it blocked up, so when I pulled the ram off of it, it was just kind of free up there, and I propped a piece of wood up there and was able to get it, stayed up. But as I was just laying over the bulkhead, doing some stuff, I had these visions of it, crashing down and breaking my back and Kyra finding me and, broken
Eventually.
in half. Eventually, somebody might have found
But
me.
you did say it was more difficult. to
Yeah.
take.
It was. I mean, it's heavy. I mean, I got it off, and then I just strapped it, and we just used a forklift or a bobcat, to just lift it off and walk it outside. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's probably 250 pounds, maybe that much. I mean, it might be a little bit
Yeah.
lighter.
That was going to be my next question because
Ours is huge.
yeah,
They're
because you
huge.
sent that clip. We're gonna put it in of you using the machine to get the engines out. That was going to be my next question. If you guys used a machine to get the hatch off, because that is
Yes.
definitely something we have to do.
We got 4 of us.
Yeah. The floor.
If it's 200 something pounds, yeah,
We use 4 people to lift it, but it's also 8 feet off the ground.
yeah, it's a trailer that's like impossible.
How are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, once it's on the ground, I mean, two
Yeah.
guys could pick it up and move it around. It's just getting it from, the boat height, down.
It's just
to the
getting
ground.
it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Piece of equipment, would be
Yeah.
probably be good.
Well, that's good to know because yeah.
Just need to get
Then-
it off. We've dropped things before. We don't need to drop that.
Well, when we went to look at it, we were looking at
Yeah.
the fiberglass work that we were going to have to do, and we were trying to figure out the best way to do it. If we should just unhinge it and block it, like you said, or if we should take it all the way off. We didn't know how much it weighed, so that's good to know now that it's probably roughly around
I
200
think we
pounds.
might have a little bit more water in the core than you guys
Yeah.
do, but I
They
think
picked
that
that
core is a little bit wet.
I mean, our upholstery was brand new.
I don't want to jinx anything.
And as I kind of got into it, I had this thought of, I really wanted to, like I said, do a bunch of rewiring, and there was like 2 or 3 other engine packages in this boat, from when it was built, and so there was a lot of extra stuff, that's just cut off in the engine bay. And,
There's just wires.
yeah.
There's just wires.
They're just because there's other stuff in here, other gauges, and things, and so I kind of maybe not stupidly, but kind of not really knowing what it entailed. I was like, oh, I'll just pull the motors out. I mean, people do it all the time. Shops are always pulling motors in and out of these boats and everything. And so I talked to a friend of mine who is a really, really, really good mechanic and up in Anchorage, and I said, hey, I'm daunted by this project, but what do you think? And he said, I'll come down and over a
No
weekend
problem.
and we'll yank him out. And he did, and we came down. And so last weekend we pulled him out, and it took us all total 15 hours to get him completely out of the boat. And that was, I would say half of that was just, kind of figuring out exactly like what we were going to do and things. I mean, it's a big project, but it's not as big as putting him back in. I mean, it's all good now, but we'll see when we put him back in now. And
It's also probably nice too. I mean, you guys have a nice high ceiling though, so it's probably nice.
Yeah, you get a little bit more, you got a lot of room to work with.
Yeah, you guys have a high ceiling, which is really nice too.
You never know though. Sometimes going back together is actually quicker than taking stuff apart.
yeah, well, I'm hoping.
Oh, sometimes it is though, because you
I usually don't get it
taking
back
it.
together.
You have to be more strategic when you take stuff apart. I feel like, because you have to make sure that you save everything and you remember where everything goes. But when you know where everything goes and you know how you took it apart, sometimes putting it back together is actually not that bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
It's
I
easy to
have.
save
for yourself.
Dude, I work on cars every single
You have
day.
a
but
mechanic's brain.
sometimes it's not that bad.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you can come up in March when we're.
I do not have that luck.
Yeah, I have a lot.
I would be more than happy to. I've wanted to go to Alaska for like pretty much my entire life. So
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, well, you guys definitely need
I'll come watch. Yeah.
watch it. I know. I was
yeah,
telling,
no, 110%.
Definitely.
yeah, I was telling
What was
Dustin to come down and help him do a few boats, and throw some motors in and things. And that was his response too. He said, "Well, I'll just come up there."
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be in Alaska in March.
Yeah.
It's not very nice. I mean, we'll hopefully have the boat back in the water, in April, May. I mean, have it all done. I want to have it all done by April 1st. I mean, that's my targeted date, to do that.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yeah.
but
That's our rent date. We rented the shop
Yeah.
through April 1st.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
It's
well, yeah.
good to have a timeline though. Otherwise, you kind of get
You get lackadaisical.
Yeah.
You take your time.
Oh, I tell you
That's
what,
exactly what we've actually been doing for months now. So,
April 1st seems
yeah.
it's a long ways away, and I mean it's not. It's going to be
Closer than you think.
it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
a lot to do.
Yeah.
Plus,
People
it
will
won't
ask
come
us.
out in April because we could have a snowstorm in the middle of April.
Yeah. No, the boat's going to
Yeah.
stay. It'll stay in the shop, until we get it, ready to get it, sea trials and stuff. So yeah, and then we're going to do. Kind of just. I'm not going to really do anything to the motors other than just kind of clean them up a little bit and replace some of the hoses and things. And then.
Is that what you said? That's
Yeah.
all you're going to do with the motors?
I think so. Yeah.
This is being recorded, right? All
Hey, we can edit this however it needs to be edited, Sandy. Don't worry.
Maybe some superchargers. I heard superchargers.
I don't know whose side I sit on. I'm neutral here.
Yeah. Whoever has the most attention.
the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
You're gonna have 2 blower holes in that engine hatch.
Yeah.
there
It'll
were.
make it lighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no, where does sun? Have to have sun.
Yeah. We let's see what else.
What else?
New gauges. I'm gonna probably go with. I've been talking with Mike Lavorsi, and so putting together a gauge package and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and
He's in Chicago.
Yeah, Divorcey.
Mhm.
Yeah, super cool guy. So we're going to design a fit engine package and new panels and things. And I just got some carbon fiber samples sent to me, and so I might do some carbon fiber panels. I'm not sure yet. I heard I don't know. I have to do a little bit of research on it. Figure things out. I mean, this is all.
Yeah, we're looking into doing some of that.
Some of what? What are we doing?
Some panel redesign.
Oh, we are.
Carbon fiber.
Carbon fibre.
Carbon fiber.
Yeah,
We got a little bit of. I think we have a little bit different setup than you guys do, though. You still have the compass in there, right?
well,
I
actually,
didn't know we were doing it either until right now.
Dan just made that executive decision.
I took out.
Welcome to my life.
I took out
We're doing
the.
it. I said we make the whole boat carbon fiber.
I'm going to take a picture and send it.
Oh yeah, I took out the compass and stuff. I got some smart craft gauges, and I took out the compass and just made a bracket like super fast just to throw them in place. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep them in or not. Kyra's gonna send you, I think, some pictures.
Just that.
But well, yeah, and then probably that's pretty much about it. Really, probably tweak up the stereo a little bit. Maybe.
Well, get all the speakers working, because
Some of them are, yeah. There was
Yeah.
some stuff that vibrated loose and things, but that's kind of the big stuff. Little stuff, here and there, we'll do. But
Yeah, we have some breaker board stuff to work out.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have a all fusion sound system, and for us it's great. I don't know what kind of if you have a GPS unit or like a Garmin on there.
yep,
Yeah, so we have a Garmin, and it all integrates right through the NMEA 2000 system,
yep,
and sounds great. You can control it from 3 different places. They have a little remote,
Yeah.
so I would definitely. It's a little
Yeah.
pricey, but
It's super easy to navigate too.
Yeah.
Like, it's really easy to use. It's like a tablet pretty much.
It's
Yeah.
gr-
It's on the boat.
It's great until you hit a nice wake, and then that little remote goes flying. So
I've never even seen the remote. I've just used the touch
when it comes undone and we're scrambling for it.
well, we had a really bad one happen. I think it was like one of the last few times I took the boat out. I hit a yacht wake doing probably 40, 45, 50, and when we came down, we sheared off the screws on our amp that powers the cockpit speakers. So it took me a little while of tearing things apart to try and figure out what just happened. But so we're gonna have to redo some of that, I think, to make it a little bit more sturdy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that whole,
Donnie's hands will be able to get in.
that whole switch panel is like just bootleg.
Yeah.
I don't know where anything is in that entire.
That panel where that amp is, though. I mean, you have 3 inches, not even a clearance to get in there.
Yeah.
I have the smallest hands, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of setup you guys have, but we have these 2. Basically, I think they're originally switch panels right forward of the seating, like the
luxury seats,
Yeah,
whatever.
before the berth, and it's right inside of one of those, and there's just absolutely no room to get in there and do anything. So I think that's all going to have to come apart.
yeah. I'm surprised. There's same thing on here too. There's like access is really it's not very user friendly. I'm
I know, with such big of a boat, you'd think it'd be kind of easy, but
Yeah, I'm definitely throwing in some panels, some access panels and stuff. Like in the head, there's a full
Yeah.
head in here, and so I think I'm gonna cut an access, hatch, so I can get to the underside of the dash. There's a lot of stuff that I'm totally unfamiliar with as far as the layout. Like, I mean, there's tanks on the waste tank. I mean, there's freshwater tank, and there's all kinds of stuff that I need to get a little more familiar with and kind of figure out. I've been trying to get like schematics of the tank's layout and the wiring and things like that, from 1995. But it's really difficult to find
Yeah.
older stuff. I did look at, I did find the
yeah, we
list.
look for wiring schematics. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Some guy sent me
Oh
one,
yeah,
but it's difficult, difficult to get. So, it's just a matter of digging into it and, figuring it out ourselves.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely not a lot of information on these boats when it comes right down to like
I was-
wiring diagrams.
Yeah, I was gonna say this might be a question for both of you guys that I just don't know. But is every single one of, like, let's say every Top Gun in 1995, are they all built the same, or are they different? Every single one's got different features. They're all wired different. I mean, how would you even know what to look for?
I don't
mean,
know. I think
I know
that-
cars, but I don't know boats. I don't know how that works.
I think that they were special ordered. I mean, I don't know. I totally could be, speaking from, speaking without
You haven't
any
read your book yet?
information. No, I've been reading it.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
just trying to figure out
that's interesting. I wonder what.
how many were made. I still haven't been able to get, an accurate
Right,
figure
yeah.
of how many Top Guns were made. I did find that list that, we were talking about, and all it said was that they were made in 95, but it didn't say how many. I know that there were only 7 made in 1997. So I'm figuring it was probably somewhere in that same neighborhood, just a handful. And I do think that I think that they were
Yeah.
they weren't produced off the shelf. I think they were special ordered.
They were all being made for specific people.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
like
that's
So they are all kind of a little bit custom.
I think so.
from what I've
Yeah,
seen. I
they have
think
to be.
every
Yeah.
boat is
You
at
know,
the very
a little
basic
different.
a little different. I think they used a general mold for everything, but
But
when it comes down to
The
like
interior,
wiring,
yeah.
motors,
Yeah, it's probably pretty
drives,
rare to see the same exact.
I think it's
Top Gun
all
secret, but-
pretty. I mean, they had general guidelines they followed, but I think everything was pretty much done to spec. For
Yeah.
at least the ones I've seen so far, and the ones that the people I've talked to, none of them really seem to be identical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
and
never
they
really thought about that, but that's interesting because I'm sure how many different variations they have.
yeah, and I mean they did a lot of stuff that just doesn't. It almost, I wouldn't say it's not common sense, but like the freshwater flush system on here, the hoses run from the engine bay, they run forward up underneath the floor, and then come back out the middle of the engine bay. It's totally crazy. I mean, it's like there's 20 feet of hose, to go 2 feet. So that's a project.
Really?
They go up and then they come right back.
Yeah, they come all the way forward.
Super weird.
Side bulkhead.
Huh.
Our flush is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess we got lucky.
I mean,
I
it's
wonder
gonna be-
why. There's got to be some reason for that.
our flush is right there. You wouldn't know it unless you tried to chase the hose. You wouldn't realize that it goes.
It goes all the way forward.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes. Yeah, the hose comes all the way up forward, and then snakes around, goes under the floor, and then comes back in. Like in the engine bay along
So, like-
with the fuel lines.
I kind of wonder, like, all right, so they're made in 95. They're made for these, like, notorious people who have a lot of extra money to spend on their own private go-fast boat. Who knows what all was going on in the shop the day they put that boat together.
It could be. I know. My friend and I were really.
Yeah.
We're still wondering like what we're gonna find. When we tear into some of this stuff. And what little packages find stuff down there under. Yeah.
You never know.
You
Yeah.
never know. That'd be awesome if you find a brick in there.
I know.
Hey, you might be able to fly another boat.
Yeah.
Find a couple keys.
No.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
finds it, you can eat it.
We'll cut that out.
It would probably make the boat worth a lot more.
Yeah.
If people knew what it was
Oh,
used
yeah.
for, I would think.
Honestly,
It's got some
yeah.
history.
It's funny because like my old checkmate was used to run drugs from back in the day in the 80s.
I feel like this is the kind of stuff that will get this channel demonetized once we get it
That's
monetized.
just,
We're not
whoever
dealing-
sold him that
no.
boat is going to be texting him tomorrow if they watch this, being like,
We're
dude,
not
what the hell?
dealing drugs. We just know people that did.
Anyways, off that.
Yeah.
They're dead
topic,
now, so it's fine. The guys
It would
that
be
did
cool,
the
though.
drugs did.
Maybe we should tear into the SIG and see if there's something in there. You never know.
Who knows
It
what's
is
going
cool though,
It
'cause
might pay for the boat.
a lot of those boats.
So I'm saying, if some of that cocaine's still good, send it back to Medellin. You'd be good to go, man. Get your money back.
Wait, don't they like X-ray the boat for like the surveys and stuff though? Isn't there like like the whole?
No.
They probably,
yeah.
they probably take it.
I
They
was
definitely
actually
don't let you keep it. I know that.
I was a little nervous. I woke up one
Did you guys have like a water test and stuff done? Like a moisture reading taken? on that boat?
Survey. There was a survey done on the boat, and I had spoken to some of the previous owners. Dustin actually knew one of the previous owners of the boat, and I
We met him,
and
Brandon.
I spoke to a couple of them and stuff like that. So we didn't actually have it. I mean, we had a survey done on
We have
the
the
boat.
report. Well, they did. Okay, so it wasn't an
Yeah.
X, but it was something that they did along the whole.
Thermal imaging.
Okay.
Yeah, just to see if there's any cracks and things like that. And nothing.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. But I mean, I guess the gist of like what's going on. I mean, we're just having a serious amount of fun, with it. That's
That's
for
what it's
sure.
all about. I mean, I think I can definitely say just having, the cafe for the first summer was the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah, it was
it was
an
a good
absolute
time.
blast. Yeah.
Just having the boat and everything that comes with it is just,
You can't not have a smile on your face.
yeah.
I mean, the amount of fun we had on the boat was unreal.
Yeah,
This was,
I mean,
probably
driving-
going to be the best summer.
just motoring through the harbor, like the Homer Harbor here with this boat is crazy, because it's the only performance boat in the entire state of Alaska. Certainly the only cigarette boat, like in our harbor, of course.
Yeah.
And it's the most northerly cigarette boat on the planet, in the entire world. So
Yeah.
it's definitely blowing people's minds. Like when we're even going to the gas station and getting fuel. We're there for a half hour, 45 minutes. Because people want to come up, they want to talk about it, they want to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And like
Yeah,
and
that's good.
That's super cool. Yeah.
Love to come out and see it one day.
97% of people are happy. There's a few haters always. It's
Well, I
really
wouldn't even say.
Hey, you're doing a lot better than we are.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah,
naturally some people are gonna.
We're just a little bit more than locally hated, I guess.
Yeah, the surrounding towns are not fans of us.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more so the hours of operation than like the noise level.
Uh-oh.
It's more or less like coming home at very, very early times in the morning where
Every
people
night.
are like, all right, this is just a problem now.
Every chance we had.
Which-
what
We try to be pretty good, though.
The flaps are always closed.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the most we can do.
yeah, they're always closed.
Hey Ryan, you can.
But I mean, you guys have float planes, and right? I mean, you guys have like people with private planes flying around, and planes are so much louder than these boats.
Yeah, we have
That's a
a lot
good
of.
point, and I never thought of that,
Yeah.
actually.
We have
It's
a
a
lot
very
of,
good argument. I actually heard a private jet today, and it was extremely loud.
Well, we have those float planes coming in and out of the island. I mean, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Jimmy Buffett flying over our island. So I mean, I don't know. They're going everywhere.
Yeah, Alaska is a huge flying state. I mean, because there's lots of places in Alaska you can only fly to. So a lot of people own airplanes, and a lot of people have float planes, and they'll fly into all these little coves and bays and land, and you think you're in the middle of nowhere, and this big loud plane comes in. So yeah, I have no problem motoring through the harbor.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. People,
Yeah.
if there's people that are not happy with us, I mean, it doesn't bother me in the least bit.
It's more people's head. It's more.
They're
We
upset.
need you on our boat.
They're upset because they're not having as much fun as you guys are. That's how we think about it. We're having so much fun. I mean, it doesn't even matter.
There are also people that really love it. They'll come out and they'll start waving their hands and they'll be chanting and screaming.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of names. The Gurgler. I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, some people really do like it a lot.
Some people love
Other
it.
people just hate it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a general statement for the entire power boating community.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I think something that we have found, in this very, very short amount of time that we've, been like affiliated, with the performance boat community, everybody is just like super stoked. Everybody's
Most-
excited.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like what we're doing, but then just everybody's generous. I mean, people are more than happy to give them their perspective on things or, advice on what to do. yeah, I mean, any question that we have, we can get it answered really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely really cool. It's similar to the car community, but you definitely have people who are just way more, people who have this knowledge that's like, where did you even come up with this? How do you know this? Like, it's not just, I took it apart and put it back together a bunch of times. It's, these people have just lived and breathed this stuff for years and years and years. It's really cool to see all of that be so accessible to people like us who just starting to get into this kind of stuff. Yeah,
and we haven't seen a lot of, like in the car, like he said, in the car community, a lot of builds are appreciated. You don't see a lot of people, excuse my language, shitting on other people, and in the boat community, it's the same thing. It's just nothing but people just complimenting everybody else's build, no matter which way, shape you do it. I mean,
Wait,
everybody's super cool.
that's not what I heard. There's something about Donzies.
Well, we actually had a Donzi sink
Yeah.
once.
Bajas and Donzies.
What about Bajas and Donzies? I didn't get the memo.
We had a Donzi sink once.
They're
I
kind
know
of
you had a Donzi sink, but what is
They're
that?
kind of like the Hondas of the.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? I didn't know
Hondas
that.
are great.
No, but they're not. They're not. When you're
They're
comparing it to like a Camaro, like a Chevy SS.
Yeah.
Like that's the SIG.
I think a lot of people consider.
To me, a Donzi is like a Ford Explorer.
It's still just as bad. Wait, so Donzies and Bajas are like, I don't want to say garbage, but they're just like frowned
They're
upon.
not garbage, but they're at least the bag. They don't hold all the trash, but they're able to break.
I just know the
There's
kid.
a lot more production than, like, say, Cigarette or Fountain or even Formula. I mean,
I'm just thinking
kinda
back
more-
to the Kid Rock song where he's talking about Lake St. Clair and his 40-foot Donzi, and I thought Donzies were badass. But I guess they're not that cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I had this friend of mine, a friend of ours, his dad. We saw him in this bar out on the Smith. It's called the Salty Dog Saloon.
You'll come when you visit.
Yes.
We'll take you
it's
there.
a ubiquitous visit to home where you go to the dog. But yeah, we go walking through the dog, and this guy, he's sitting there against the wall, and that's the line that he says as he sees us. He says that, he's like, rolling Lake St. Clair in my 40-foot Donzi as we walk by.
that's great.
Yeah. A lot of people are stoked, about the
Yeah.
whole thing. So it's good.
Awesome.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah.
idea what we're doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, really appreciate you guys coming on. I mean, it was just great talking with you, and, we'll try and.
Yeah, we look forward to a possible Alaska trip in the
Yeah,
future.
for
That
sure.
would be
Oh, definitely.
absolutely awesome.
That's a bucket list for sure.
If we
Yeah.
can get somebody
Oh, yeah.
to tow our boat out there, we'll bring the boat up.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll work on that.
it was a fun
Did you tell them that our nice custom on the side of our trailer? It says on the side of your trailer. It says custom, where it's got a steel tongue on it, bolted to an aluminum frame.
Yeah,
it says custom on it on the side.
We're currently in the search for a little bit more long distance worthy trailer for our boat. So
Yeah.
Steel to aluminum. That's a tricky welding job there.
No, it's not even
bolted.
welded. It's bolted. It's a steel
yeah.
tongue bolted to an aluminum frame. I've never seen anything
It's
like
more or less just not meant for long distance trips.
it's like a yard trailer, pretty much.
Oh, yeah. It's got a sticker on it that says custom build and a phone number on it, and I don't
Yeah.
dare call the phone number.
Custom with a K. It's just spray painted on it.
Spray paint.
For what we do, it works. It gets the job done. It got the boat to us, but
Our custom
You're not
driver,
putting it on the highway.
I don't really want to
Our crack mechanic driver down, he gets it done.
somehow.
Somehow.
Makes it happen.
He's a big rig driver. He can figure it out.
Yeah, but definitely thank you for coming on the podcast. Really great having you.
Yeah,
Thank you enough.
It's awesome. Yeah, thank you.
And
Yeah,
All right,
hopefully
well-
we'll get to
we'll do
Follow
that.
us on Instagram and watch the progression of our adventure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
All the anybody watching this should definitely go follow you guys. You guys have a lot of cool stuff on Instagram, and you guys are doing some really cool stuff with the charters and stuff, and can't wait to see more of it. So,
Very good. We'll
Thank you.
we'll keep you guys in the loop.
Sounds
Definitely,
great.
thank you.
Absolutely, we appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Thanks
Thank
again
you.
for coming on.
Cheers.
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 Cheers.